Today we're talking about something that every gardener experiences at some point: bolting. As you can see, my lettuce and kale have definitely gone past their prime. I probably should have pulled them weeks ago, but life happened. The weather changed quickly, and now they've bolted. Instead of pretending everything in the garden is perfect, I wanted to make a real video showing exactly what bolting looks like, why it happens, and what you can actually do when it happens in your own garden. And honestly, this is one of the best ways to learn gardening, by seeing the mistakes in real time. So what exactly is bolting? Bolting is when a plant shifts from producing leaves to producing flowers and seeds. It's basically the plant entering survival mode. Leafy greens like lettuce, kale, spinach, and arugula usually bolt when temperatures start getting too warm or when the plant becomes stressed. You'll notice a few signs. The plant suddenly grows tall, stems become thicker, leaves may get smaller, flowers begin forming, and the taste becomes more bitter. The bitterness is usually the first sign that gardeners notice. This lettuce right here used to be full, soft, and tender. Now it's stretched upward because the plant is focusing all its energy on reproduction instead of leaf production. Why it happens? In my case, Texas heat came in fast. Cool season crops like lettuce really don't enjoy hot temperatures. Once the weather starts consistently warming up, bolting can happen surprisingly quickly. A few things can trigger bolting: heat, inconsistent watering, overcrowding, stress, long daylight hours, or simply waiting too long to harvest, which is what I think happened particularly in my case. And honestly, sometimes you can do everything right and plants still bolt because it's just part of the plant's natural life cycle. One week, your garden looks amazing, and the next week, it looks like the plants have completely changed personalities. Should you throw it away? So the question is, should you immediately pull bolted plants out? Not always. Some bolted greens are still edible, especially kale. The younger leaves can still be cooked into soups, smoothies, or sauteed dishes. Lettuce usually becomes much more bitter, but sometimes the inner leaves are still usable. Another option is letting the plants flower intentionally. Pollinators absolutely love these flowers. Bees are constantly visiting flowering greens in the garden. And if you let the plants continue growing, you can actually collect seeds for future planting. Lessons learned. One thing gardening is teaching me is timing. You really have to stay connected to the garden because plants can change fast, especially in spring and early summer. I also learned that harvesting more consistently really would have helped. Sometimes we wait because the garden still looks good enough, but leafy greens are usually best harvested young and often. And honestly, I think beginner gardeners need to hear this. A garden doesn't have to look perfect to still be successful. Even this teaches you something. What I'm doing next. So now that these have bolted, here's my plan. I'm going to possibly leave a few flowering plants for pollinators, save seeds if I can, and transition this space into more heat-tolerant crops. For summer gardening in Texas, things like peppers, okra, basil, sweet potatoes, and certain herbs usually do much better. And this is another reminder that gardening is seasonal. Not every plant is meant to thrive year-round. Encouragement for beginners. If your garden has bolted before, don't get discouraged. Every gardener deals with this eventually. The beautiful thing about gardening is that every season gives you another opportunity to learn, improve, and try again. Sometimes the best gardening lessons come from the plants that didn't go according to plan. If you've dealt with bolting before, let me know in the comments. What crops bolt the fastest in your area? Be sure to subscribe because I'll be sharing more realistic gardening videos, harvests, recipes, and beginner-friendly tips here on Gateway Vegan. Thank you for watching.